Hey everyone, welcome to Play Hooky with me. My name is Roz, and in this video I'm going to be sharing how to make this straight edge border hexagon style blanket. This is a companion video to go along with one that I did recently on how to make an easy granny style hexagon. But you don't necessarily need to use this hexagon to make this border. This will work on any hexagon that has granny style clusters around the edges. In this video, I'll be sharing how to make the border you see here, as well as an alternative version if you want to keep the points of your hexagons intact. I've added timestamps in the description box below so you can skip to your point of interest, as well as chapters along the progress line under the video. By the way, if you're interested in learning more about the yarn and the hook that I used for this sample, all of that information will also be in the description box below. Alrighty, I think that's about it, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, before you get started on either version, you're going to want to create some spike stitches around the edge of your blanket. When I say spikes, I just mean that we're going to be adding single crochets in between your clusters and in the corners. So to begin, just go ahead and find a space on the side. I have a slip knot on my hook. This is going to serve as my first single crochet spike. I'm going to insert, pull through, yarn over, and pull through one. And then from here on out, above all of these clusters, I'm just going to be doing either chain 2s or 3s, depending on the length of my clusters. But a good rule of thumb here is to let your eyes be your guide rather than the stitch count. For example, here, a chain 3 will probably serve pretty well, but if you're finding that your chains are going way past your cluster, then just take it down one stitch. I'm going to do 3 here, single crochet, and I'm already here at a corner, and as you can see, my corners on my hexagons only have 2 double crochets. So I'm just going to chain 2 to get to my corner. And then for all of my corners, I like to do a single crochet spike, chain 2, and then another single crochet. Chain 2 again to get around this bend. And then single crochet. Just keep going as you are, and then I'll meet you here at this intersection. When you get to an area where you've joined hexagons, I just continue on in the same way, chain 2 or 3. And right here in between these two where they've been joined, I go ahead and do my spike. And then continue on as normal. Because I did a single crochet border on this half hexagon, it's not as easy to see where to add your spikes. So just play around with this and see what you like best. I'm going to use the rows as my guide where I transitioned colors. And so I just play around with this to see what is looking best. I don't let this stress me out too much. You just want it to be visually appealing. Okay, so for this portion, we're just going to be adding a border or an edge to your hexagons as they are. Now for this, you can do this a couple of different ways. I've done it with half double crochets as well as double crochets. If you want to keep this as pointy as possible, I would recommend a half double crochet border. Fasten on however you like best and chain 2 or 3 to serve as your first half double crochet. 2 more half doubles. This is going to serve as your first half double crochet cluster. For your spaces, we're just going to do 3 half doubles each time. And then when you reach a corner, I would recommend 3 half double crochets to get around that edge. You may find that you need to do 5. Just play with it and see what you think. Now, a quick tip here for my border that I'm showing here today, I stopped making the block stitch border and the spikes after this round. I finished with a single crochet. But if you want to continue building with more spike stitches and make a wider border, I would recommend that you mimic what you have below as far as the count. So I would do 2 half double crochets here, a chain 1, and 2 half doubles. Whatever you need to be able to fill in your little spikes. But if you're going to make this the end of your border here, then I would just stick with 3 to 5 half doubles. And I'm just going to continue on all the way around with this. Nothing fancy. I don't think there's anything else you need to know here. Okay, and then for the finishing touch, I'm just going to do a single crochet in the top of all of these stitches here. So you're simply just going to find a place to start. Fasten on with a single crochet and just go into the top of all of your stitches with single crochets. A little tip here though, if you're finding that it is making your blanket too wavy, then you can just go ahead and skip some stitches along the way to tighten it back up. Or if you're finding that it's too tight, then you can add some increases in there, which just means that you would do 2 single crochets in a stitch every now and again to help it grow. For the sample that I made for this video, I used double crochets for this border. So I'm just going to fasten on the side here with a couple of double crochet clusters, and then I'll meet you here at the corner. Now for my corner, I'm just going to be doing 3 double crochets. You may find that you need to do 5. You're just trying to make sure you can get around this corner comfortably. Okay, now we're getting ready to fill in this edge here and make it straight. I'm going to do 3 double crochet clusters in this space as well as this space. When I get to the point, I'm going to do a combination. I'm going to do 2 half double crochets, a single crochet 2 together to get over this tip, and then continue on in this same space with 2 more half doubles. And then we're going to move on to another set of double crochets, and then I'll talk more about this when we get there. Half double, half double, and now we're going to do a single crochet together to get across this tip. So we insert our hook, pull through. We don't finish the single crochet. We move over to the other side, repeat that, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. That's a single crochet 2 together. Continue on with 2 more half doubles in that next space. Moving on to 3 double crochets. And now we're at our deepest point here. For this yarn and hook size, I found that treble crochets work just fine for this depth, but you may find with your yarn and hook that you need to go up to a double treble, which is 4 wraps around your hook. We're also going to be doing another 2 together technique here, but we're going to be doing it with our treble crochets. So we're going to start with 2 trebles in this first space here. Another, we're going to start our first treble, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. You have 2 loops on your hook. We're going to skip over to the next space and we're going to continue on, but we're going to loop over twice as if we're starting another treble over. Now go into your space, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now we're going to pull through all 3 to complete this stitch. Yarn over, pull through all 3, and that is your treble 2 together. And now just finish off with 2 more trebles in that same space. And that is your deepest area finished. And then we're going to come back, we're moving back up, so we're going to do 3 doubles. And we've reached our point area again, so we're going to do the combination. I'm going to do 2 half doubles with a single 2 together to get across this point. And then at this point, you'll just continue this sequence. A double crochet cluster. When you get to your deepest part here, it's 2 trebles, treble 2 together to get over this spike here, finishing off with 2 trebles. Then in this next spot, you're going to be doing a cluster of 3 double crochets. And then when you get to your point here, you're going to do your 2 half doubles, a single crochet 2 together to get across this spike, 2 half doubles, double crochet cluster, double crochet cluster, and then 3 doubles, in your corner. And then when you move to your side, you're just going to continue on with your double crochet clusters. Really, really easy. Once you finish your straight edge, you can be finished here and just do maybe a single crochet edge all the way around. But if you want to continue on with another couple of sequences of these spikes with the clusters, it's really easy to do. Just go ahead and start in a space, doing your single crochet. And you're going to do like you were before, just your chain 2 or 3. Okay, I'm at a corner and all I need to do for this is just chain 3 or 4 if you're finding that the 3 chains is not getting you around that bend, to see what works best. If you want this to look more consistent with the corners from your hexagons, I would recommend that you just mimic the hexagon corners that you have. So here, instead of doing this cluster, I could have done 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, and then I could have fit my spikes in here, but I forgot to do that for this segment, but it's just an option. And then just continue on as you were. When you come across your treble crochets together like this, don't let that confuse you. You're still going to go in there with a spike. It's just going to be a little bit thicker of a place that you have to do it. Same goes for your peaks here. It's a bit tight where you did your single crochets 2 together. Just go ahead and fit in your single crochet. Alrighty, and then when you're back to your cluster sequence or cluster row and you are at your corners, I would recommend now that you grow it to 5 double crochets if you were doing 3 before. If you were doing 5 double crochets, then I would bump it up to 7, just to get around that corner. I'm not saying you have to increase with every round for your corners. I just found that 5 ended up being a lot more comfortable and my piece laid more flat with the 5. And then just continue around as you were. And then when you're finished, I would suggest that you just do a nice single crochet border all the way around the edge. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. If you're interested in this hexagon, here are 2 more videos relating to it.